So did you, when you tell me you were doing your Oikos resources, Oikos curriculum, and being at home all the years from age 8, continued with your studies all the way through, is that correct? You didn't go and back into the school system perhaps to get a matric or anything like that? What happened?
No, I haven't actually got a matric. Haven't quite finished my schoolwork either, it's been nice to go at my own pace. I've probably been going slower than I can. I've become a bit lazy, not having that work behind me to push me on, which can be a bit of a pullback, but it's given me the chance to be prepared for adult life. I look at a lot of people, they go in to school and to varsity and they're probably not ready for it. I'm quite happy with where I am working part-time.
So what are you currently doing now with regard to work?
So currently I'm a programmer in Belleville. I've been doing it for about 10 months now.
How did that happen?
So I decided see what sort of jobs there were in Cape Town in relationship with programming, specifically C++, which is the only language I really wanted to work in. I wasn't finding anything until I found there was a trainee position on Gumtree. They said trainee, but the salary didn't look as a salary for a trainee, so I inquired and they asked for my CV actually. I got an interview and I got hired. I can't think of it being anything other than God's hand just giving me a job there.
Okay, but how did you give them a CV? What did you do to put that together?
So when they asked me for my CV, I pretty much collected the information I did have on my schoolwork. So I went through the tests I had done, which come in the curriculum, and I got the average percentages, and that was my CV up till about grade 11.
So you took your Oikos resources and all the different tests you had done throughout within the program, like the maths and the science and the language and what have you, and you just put your averages together and took that along with you. Is that what you did?
That's what I did, and of course added. My mother encouraged adding information about the youth leadership roles we'd been involved with, music lessons and such. So.
Okay, so you just put your life experience up to that point, your academics as well as your other everything you'd done. It was good that your mom encouraged you to add, and
including part-time working for my dad actually. So.
Oh, okay, that was also good training right there.
It was.
Okay, so now you're doing this programming, and as you say, they hired you to do it, and you feel it was just God's hand operating in that situation. You're enjoying it.
I am very much. It's programming. It was kind of my dream that I thought would never come true. I'd been teaching myself programming with the spare time I had when I didn't get into trouble for spending too much time on the computer.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much my experience with programming for getting into the job.
Sure. And now you see yourself going forward in that?
Yes, I've actually received good feedback from my boss relating to that, so I would like to finish my work so that I can go further in that
field.
In that field, yeah.
Now that you're in the workplace, do you feel, as a young man, that you've been equipped and prepared and made ready for this big world? One of people's concerns about home education is their children aren't going to be made ready because they don't see them as being part of society and in the world and being ready and prepared for adult life. What is your response to that?
I would say being ready for adult life depends actually a lot on the people you spend time with. We spent a lot of time with adults at church, so you learn from different places to be ready for adult life. It's not something you can only get from schools or varsities. It can come even from not doing much. I'm not the most social person, and I feel I've been equipped by my parents and by the young adults that we've been blessed to be friends with.
So now in the workplace, are you coping?
Yes, I am. It's fairly comfortable. I've actually found a lot of specifically in programming, a lot of what you have to do is similar to how you study in homeschooling. So a lot of us do our own studies when we need to when we need to implement something, we've got to do a lot of the research sometimes to get something working. So it really helps.
So that's interesting. So at home, your learning environment at home is just, this is like an extension of that in the adult world, and that's why you feel equipped. You're actually saying you feel equipped to do what is required of you in the adult world.
Yes, I do. Yes, I find being equipped for my job in programming, it came largely from that not everything was necessarily handed to me in a way that they do at school sometimes. I actually helped a friend with his projects in programming at school, and it's different compared to how you work in the workplace, where not everything's fed to you. You've got to learn to do your research yourself and implement what you found out. I've been very encouraged to do my work to achieve the best I can through home education. We aren't limited to subjects they provide at schools. We learn to do our education outside on our own, and I find that particularly encouraging, that we can achieve things that we maybe never thought we would be able to, and the only limitation is really what we limit ourselves to.